fantasy league suck less.
Legacy Heating and Cooling sucks. Yeah, Legacy can now suck your ducts with professional duct cleaning, furnace cleaning, and dryer vent cleaning.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you need the filth sucked from your air ducts.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
When you want cleaner air for your family.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy now offers air duct cleaning. Book in today. Just call Legacy.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, Oilers lose to New Jersey on a night when Desire didn't show up until the third period. Oh, that was dull as dishwater. And an early look at the NFL playoff weekend. The Lowdown brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family-owned, community-driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. You know, there's a Warren Zevon song called Hit Somebody. It's about a hockey player. Maybe play that. I will give Vasily Podkolzin credit, though. And I think that Leon Draisaitl is missed. Going to go out on a limb and say that. As you know, we're live on YouTube and Sports 1440, also online at sports1440.ca, iHeartRadio, and Radio Player Canada. After the show, Apple and Spotify podcast, and we tweet it out on X. Twitter, we're at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, and at JFenwick04. And you can call us anytime or text us at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Kevin McCurdy will join us today to talk about last night's game, why the Oilers don't take advantage of opportunity. They're at home for a long, long time. There's an opportunity to drive up that win total and, chase Vegas down. And last night was just a very poor performance for 40 minutes. And it's not like you can use goaltending as an excuse because I thought Tristan Jarry played very well. We have McCurdy to talk about the Nugent-Hopkins 1,000 games as well. I want to do a little bit of deep dive on that. What a player for such a long, long time. He's been through heaven and hell in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers. We'll talk to Kevin McCurdy at 1 o'clock today. All right, it's time for the introductions. He brings a lot to this show, including an extreme knowledge of cinema, basketball, and looking bored. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick. How come you don't get camera time anymore? Is it because
we don't have a camera over here, and that's A-okay by me.
I just thought it was because you rolled your eyes so much.
No, and as a matter of fact, this is not the first time someone has said this today, essentially. Like, Kevin, near the end of the show, was like, hey, Josh over there just has like the gloss over his eyes, not paying attention, whatever. I was actually working at the time, making a little clip, and Brandon sort of jumped in my defense. I was making numbies online, but
do you think maybe, and I'm just being honest here.
Sure.
Do you think maybe old people like Kevin and I really don't know what you do, so
Yes.
we just assume you're over there doing nothing?
That is like 109% what I think.
Because I'm sure people that you work with value you. They really do. But I'm sure I don't know what you're doing.
You have no idea what I do. Brandon, to an extent, knows what I do. Same with Connor, knows an extent to what Declan and I do. But truly, Declan and I only really know what it is we do around here.
So you could be saying it's hard work, and we wouldn't know it, right?
The only people who would really know are me, Connor, Brandon, Declan, and Wanye.
Okay. Well, Wanye is he's an older guy, but he's really cool.
He's with the times.
He really is.
How do you do, my fellow kids?
All right. He brings so much to this show, including football knowledge that is unprecedented, unusual eyewear, and an incredible ability to remember things that just don't matter. True. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger.
Yeah, I was going to come to Josh's defense as well. We went over it pretty well with Josh's intro there, but sometimes you do get like in the zone over there and you look completely glossed over. Also, I thought it was kind of funny, like where have you been, man? Talking about why aren't you on camera anymore? Like, we've never had that role on camera. Appreciate the intro about the football knowledge. Let's have a blessed day, gentlemen, and let's great sports talk radio day.
Well, I want to get into a couple of things here at the top of the show. And one of them is this. When I walk in, I often hear talk of things that I would never mention on the air because you're young men and God knows what your interests are. But I walk in today and you're talking about trading Josh Allen. What inspired this, and where are you going with this, boys?
Well, these were conversation points thrown at me, started as hypotheticals. It actually started with Pagula throwing Keon Coleman totally under the bus. Then we joked about, Keon Coleman and a first for AJ Brown. I said, oh boy, I'd take that in a heartbeat. And then from there, it kind of spiraled into what would a trade package for Josh Allen look like? I don't know what I would trade him for. I really don't know what that package would have to look like. I'd have to see it, but it certainly wouldn't be
third round pick.
It certainly wouldn't be a third round pick.
But I'll throw in the quarterback.
Wait, a third in Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
I would trade Josh Allen for Jalen Hurts and like 9 first-round picks.
Well, now this is just being cruel.
So now here's the question, right? The Browns, they call the Bills. They say, hey, you get 49% ownership in the franchise. You get Myles Garrett. You get all of our first-round picks until Josh Allen has a grandson.
This is ridiculous. You guys are way too high on him. He would have to have, like, his son would be 12.
You can have the first child of whoever our backup quarterback is, so Shadur Sanders. And then you can also have Dylan Gabriel because you need a quarterback.
Wow. I think then we can conclude Josh Allen's not going anywhere.
Josh Allen isn't going anywhere.
All right.
Untouchable.
Well, he's won so many Super Bowls.
Yeah, winner everywhere he goes.
He's the best player in the NFL.
Yeah. And yet, no Super Bowls.
But you know what?
It's like Dan Marino.
Yeah, I mean, Dan was better, but like it's almost trending that way a little bit. But here's the thing, like the Buffalo loses because of everyone else. Philadelphia loses because of Jalen Hurts. And I guess I have to live with that.
But you know what? You're not wrong. Like, I will tell you that this, I remember Wilbert Montgomery, right? Like, I remember the Eagles running backs. I've never seen anything like what they've got right now. Even in year 2, it was outstanding. And they've got great receivers. Now, they've got a prima donna receiver for sure. Mm-hmm. So maybe we can, credit that. But I like their tight end.
Yep.
Their offensive and defensive lines are great. Man, they're so good. And I mean, even the DBs were pretty good this year.
Yeah, and I just want to say one last thing before you really get the show going here. Josh Allen, he actually was to blame. He did not play well in that divisional round game. Like, I don't want to take all the blame away from Josh Allen. Airmailed Dawson Knox he had a bad game, and he deserves to be called out.
But sometimes when you're a great player and you've carried teams, maybe your team could,
pick up the slack a little. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. All right. The Oilers were, I'll give Podkolzin credit. To me, that was the highlight of the game. They try the hi-hat on Connor McDavid, and you got to respond. I don't have any quarrel with that at all. I know he spent 17 minutes, not playing. I know the lines got all buggered up because Leon's not there. Kasperi Kapanen's not there, and they looked small. There's no doubt. They didn't look like a big team at all. I was very happy Savoy, scored, but for 2 periods, I just didn't think they were there. And they tie it up and they immediately go down. The coverage wasn't great. I like Wallman with Nurse. That was a better tandem. I would run with that. I thought Emberson was a little shy on some plays, but it's one game. But man, that would have been a good one to win because the Oilers are still they still have a chance to win the Pacific. You lose games like that, and it really does. It leaves a mark a little bit. And you're on this long homestand where you're supposed to do really well. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't really buy the idea they were going to do exceptionally well on the homestand. On these games that they're playing right now, there's going to be 7 games. I have them going 3-2-2. That's no screaming hell. But you know what? They're 1-1-0 right now. So they're on track to do what I suggested they would do. And now the Penguins come to town. Who would you play in goal? Would you go back to Jari to play his old team, or would you run with Connor Ingram?
I would go to Jari. or go with Jari, I should say, not go to suggest Ingram. I would go with Jari. It's his old team. The emotions are him and Skinner is nails. I love that storyline.
Yeah, to me, it's great. And Skinner's playing well too, and so is Jari. Did you see that save Jari made last night? Oh my God.
I'm about to record it for Gregor's intro.
That is so good.
And I even saw it live, my first hockey game. How about that?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got to see a save like that.
You mean first hockey game this year?
Yeah, first hockey game ever, and it was awesome.
Oh, come on.
Actually, second, Four Nations face-off final.
Was it a quiet night in the NBA?
You know what's funny? I actually, after the second intermission, I did switch over to the Lakers-Nuggets game and didn't switch back until about 13 left to go in the third.
And this is while you were watching it live?
Yeah. LeBron had a crazy dunk.
He's so good. LeBron's the best player ever.
Second, but anyway.
I what I didn't like about the Oilers game last night is that there are, there are players who really have to play with better structure, and they were playing with better structure, and then they go a little bit walkabout. And, they only scored one goal, so it's not like it was one play that lost the game. But I really liked the way they were playing, more controlled, and maybe it was that they dressed 7 blue. I don't know. And I don't buy that, carrying 3 goalies did that much damage. But I'll say this, with Kapanen, Draisaitl, and then because of the fight, Podkolzin are out of the lineup, they're way too small. They're not a very big, and I know they're fast, but you got to have a little more size there and truculence. So something to consider for, the rest of time, as it were. I wasn't, they should never be boring. The prices that the fans have to pay, I'm not going to go crazy on this, but that was a game where if you're leaving the game and you spent like 3 or 4 bills, you're kind of like a little bit, your nose is out of joint a little bit, I think. And I think that's fair. And, you can't play brilliantly every night. And they only played brilliantly for 1 period. But that was a winnable game. And I think Oilers fans deservedly have a right to bitch and moan a little bit today. I think last night is another example of Nuge not being able to center an effective top 6 line. See, here's the thing. I write about this all the time. I wrote a really nice complimentary piece about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. But I think he can be a really good top line left winger, which he is now. Or he can be a fantastic third line center. He can mentor the kids. And when you play third line, you are absolutely playing the soft parade. And they don't put him down there, I think, because they're worried about him never getting any minutes if they do. Because they trash the fourth line early in the game, and the third line sometimes doesn't play a lot. But the coaching staff has to have the discipline. If you ran Leon and McDavid and Nugent-Hopkins 1, 2, 3, and you made sure they all got 12 or more minutes at 5-on-5, giddy up. That to me has real merit. Nuge against soft opposition with a couple of guys who could cash. I like it, and they don't do it. They always check down to, when Leon and McDavid are playing together, the Nuge plays the second line. I think he's ideal for a third line center, and I would like to see it for a long period. Darnell Nurse has $1 million skill set and a 10-cent brain from Team Dean. We get those all the time. Nurse Wallman played well last night. Nurse on the winning goal did not make a good play. But I think that the idea that a game where you lose 2-1, you score 1 goal, and you're not able to, get a couple by the goaltender with this team, I'm not buying it. Everybody has their guys they pick on, and Skinner's out of town now. So we're going back to Nurse, or maybe folks will migrate to somebody else. But every defenseman makes mistakes. That was one. You bet. But he's playing big minutes, and he's playing often with a guy who is not really a top 4 defenseman. I think Wallman is. And if you look at their numbers last night, those two together were really good. In 552, they were 4-2 shots, 1-0 goals, 83% expected goals, and 3-1 high danger chances at 5-on-5. Those are good numbers. But if you're going to have him out there against really good opposition with a Ty Emberson, that's not really, I understand why you're trying to do it, but it's not really championship caliber. And maybe Nurse is a third pair guy. Maybe he is. But I think if you're going to play him second pair, you owe it to him to have a little higher end partner defensively. And they did when Wallman was out there. Fair enough, the Oilers didn't show up until the third period, but the Devils really deserved to win that game. I don't necessarily think that they did, but it doesn't matter when the home team doesn't, I didn't feel they were interested that much. And they do have games like that. And I don't have an answer for you. Maybe they all feel like, well, Connor will do it. But it was not an inspired effort last night. That wasn't a very good game. We can agree, right? That wasn't a very good game by the Oilers.
Terrible starting 40 minutes for sure. Like my roommate and I were doing some stuff, and so I just had it on my phone while we were doing things, and then we finished up and I started watching the third period, and I was like, oh my God, they've been playing hard this game all game. And then I come in this morning because I was like half paying attention.
Yeah.
Coming this morning, they're like, what a terrible first 40. I'm like, all right, so Jake Allen just really stood on his head in the third while the Oil did anything they wanted. I think, what was it? New Jersey didn't get a shot on goal until 15 minutes into the.
They were fire. They were just fire. I think it's, what it is? I think it's like, this would be a good way to describe it. The way they played the first two period is like I look when Declan's talking about Jimmy Butler.
Sure.
Are you over that?
Explain that metaphor.
Well, because you talk about Jimmy Butler so much, I just kind of drift a little.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought, okay, so it's how you are when I'm talking. Okay.
How you are. When
you
you're
have great passion, so
there
it's
we go.
fabulous radio. But it's like I know more about Jimmy Butler than I want to. But that's okay.
No, I hear the reference. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, the first 40 minutes, no energy, no great, like just nothing. It was, how long was it until they got a shot? Or until they got
15 minutes in the third period, something like that?
No. He's asking about the Oilers.
Oh, well, it was 4-4 after one or something, right?
Yeah, but even then, it was still like maybe
Boring.
they had some early. Then it was like after 10 minutes, they had two shots. Like it was just no motion. It's a team that plays so flat. And like one thing I've kind of always felt, or not always, but the last 2 years about the Oilers is that they can kind of hit a button where they can just turn things on and they can just listen. Come playoff time, they're going to kick it into gear. And to be fair, maybe they can still do that. But nothing I've seen this season, like games like this, when you're the only team in the NHL that hasn't won 3 games in a row, you're 0-9 now with that opportunity. Like every time it seems like they need to hit the button in the bigger, in the spots they need to hit it. Cause I know they've had big games and obviously they dog walk, like they got 6-0 wins, 5-0 wins. So I get that they can do it, but it's like the moments they have to, they just can't hit the button. And it's so frustrating. And that's what kind of gives me pause for this team in the playoffs.
In reality, they hit the button too late.
Yeah. And they also, but they, if this team never wins a Stanley Cup, that's going to be their story. Their highest highs and their lowest lows, their floor and ceiling is, and I think they believe they can just turn it on and win. And a game like last night really should, I think, be sobering for the leadership group of the Edmonton Oilers. Stu Lowe says, nurse for Dougie Hamilton, not saying the Devils would do it, but would you, LT? Well, there's a no movement clause, so it couldn't happen. And I'm a massive Dougie Hamilton fan, so I would. But I don't think it's going to happen. So the point is moot. Do you know that one time Jesse Jackson was on Saturday Night Live and he was hosting a game show called The Point is Moot? It was very funny. Okay.
Cool story, bro.
Maybe it's not that great a reminiscence, but I thought of it. I went with it. And I got the bored look from Josh.
And I wasn't doing any work this time at this exact moment. So you mucked up.
Yeah, well, I blew it, man. Okay. On the way, we've got Kevin McCurdy straight ahead. We have at 1 o'clock. We have rumors just ahead. And what are we doing on declinations at 1:40 today?
Dunking with Declan. And jamming with Josh. No basketball.
John Tesh. Cool. All right. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
This Sunday, it's high-impact family fun that's second to none.
See Oil Rumble 3, an afternoon of wrestling in Ice District. Catch all the slap shots and suplexes as your Edmonton Oil Kings battle the Saskatoon Blades.
It's Family Fun Sunday with face painting, bouncy castles, plus pregame and intermission Love Pro Wrestling matches.
And Palamont Kids food combos are $10 or less. Value that hits harder than a steel folding chair.
Edmonton, Saskatoon, Family Fun Sunday, and Oil Rumble at Rogers Place.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
Made for some rough roads, but it means trails are now packed and ready for action. Don't miss out on riding adventures this winter with the Ski-Doo from Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. Work or play with new 2026 Generation 5 models with class-leading design and power. And right now, take advantage of 5.99% financing OAC. Only at Riverside Honda and Ski-Doo. 15 Inglewood Drive in St. Albert. And always at riversidehonda.com. Shop local, shop Canadian.
New year, new me, right? How about a resolution you'll actually enjoy?
This January, resolve to get a better ride at Nisku Ford. It's the New Year, New Ride event. Leave last year's vehicle in the rear view mirror and start 2026 in a brand new Ford. Get rebates as high as $10,000 or choose interest rates as low as 0%. Now that's a resolution you can stick to. Visit Nisku Ford today or browse our new inventory at niskuford.ca. Above expectations.
River Cree is the place for all your favorite sports. River Cree Resort and Casino, featuring UFC action and boxing live on the big screens at Tap 25, the MVP of sports bars, and in the Center Bar. Plus, catch this fall's biggest games. Every goal, every tackle, every home run. River Cree is also home to the Twin Rinks, where rec hockey and community teams come to play. Public skating available. Details at rivercreeresort.com.
River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement. Bet on it.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
He's heading into the driveway. Temperature's dropping fast, folks. He opens the hood and, oh no, the battery's on thin ice.
Yeah, that's a tough break, Tim. I mean, you can't expect to compete and win with weak parts in your game like that.
But wait, he's made a clutch move. He's gone to Napa Auto Parts for the win. They've got batteries, winter-grade oils, antifreeze, and wiper blades built for cold Alberta conditions.
That's a championship play, Tim.
With over 85 Alberta locations, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Here's the lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. We are talking about the Oilers' inability to win 3 games in a row. Of course, on this show, let's be real. How many times this year have we had 3 great shows in a row?
What are you talking about? Every show is a great show.
Let's let the listeners decide.
No, that's a bad. Do not do a poll. No, do not seek the treasure. Do not do a poll. It is time for rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. How many solar panels do you have home, Josh?
I have 0, I believe, although I have not been on the roof of my apartment, so I could be lying to you right now.
Okay. But to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, we have 0. I should probably get into it. A little expensive for my blood right now, or as the doctor said when I got addicted to fettuccine Alfredo, a little rich for my blood, but the day will come where I'll be able to go green.
So I wrote about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in The Athletic today. And he has this blew me away. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is plus 19 for his career versus the Western Conference and minus 37 against the Eastern Conference.
Minus 16 for his career, 18.
Good on the math. Now, he had some lean years during the early years. He played with Hall, but he didn't play with McDavid a lot during his first couple of years. Anyway, wonderful player. Honored the other night for 1,000 games, and we're already after him now because of last night's game. Playing for the Oilers must be a hell of a lot of fun, although Nuge has more, I think, like fans who would like die on that hill than anybody, including McDavid and Draisaitl, because Nuge has been here for so long. And as much as fans have suffered, I think he's right there with them. I still think a third line center is the ideal spot for him. Don't know if they're going to get there. Nice to see Savoy score last night, and Ike Howard as well. I will give it zero chance that line with Roslovic centering those two undersized rookies will be on the opening night lineup. They will make moves and they will make changes. And I think last night shows that they missed the physicality and the size of Leon Draisaitl, Kasperi Kapanen, and then once he had been in a fight, and I don't blame him for going after the defenseman when he tried to go on the hi-hat with McDavid. But 17 minutes took him out of the game for a long, long time. And the Oilers looked not well. Lowetide got the "Oh brother, where art thou? Do not seek the treasure" reference from Chicano. Yeah. They're all great shows, Daniel from Leduc.
But he put great in quotes.
Yeah, well, great, as in, great.
Hey, that was great, man. It's like when you go and see your friends play and it sucked. And it's like, how was it? Oh, it was great. It's great.
Wow.
You were great.
Mm-hmm. Everything's great.
Everything.
Doughty had the flu. People were wondering if he was hurt. He was ill yesterday. So that's why. I think there's going to be some days off for players leading up to the Olympics, like Doughty. Doughty's like 100 years old. In baseball, the New York Yankees have resigned Cody Bellinger. There was a lot of talk about him going elsewhere. The Mets, I think they knew they were out of it. They traded for Luis Robert Jr., the Chicago White Sox, to cover their center field situation. I'm not even sure. Robert gets hurt a lot, but he is a center fielder. I don't know if Belanger is. I honestly don't know if he can. Bellinger, sorry, Belanger. Bellinger is. I don't know if he's going to be able to play center field for much longer. And Dominguez can't. Think they'd ever roll Giancarlo Stanton back out in the outfield? I mean, it would be embarrassing, but they might have to.
I think that would just prove Buck's point more and more.
Yeah.
They would not be, they would be the
worst.
They'd be the worst defensive team in the league. And I don't think that's a stretch. You have Volpe at shortstop, and then you have Stanton in right field. And what you're putting, where you put
Judge or Bellinger?
Judge or Bellinger in center
either
field.
One is not good.
And then dude, you're basically giving up half of the outfield to be like, hey man, you get that over the first baseman's head, you got a double.
Well, what Judge was hurt, he couldn't throw, and they turned a lot of singles into doubles last year in important games. Just kind of nutty.
And then on top of it is he's not very good at tracking the ball down either.
No, he's not. And Stanton, they lost the playoff game, because he had to go second to home. And he was out by.
He was so slow.
The catcher smokes a dart and still has time to.
I don't know why he was getting waved through.
It's just nuts. Waving through Stanton right now, you should be fired right now on the spot. Yeah, you waved in Giancarlo, man. You got to go. Leave the building.
You're done.
Eagles are looking to sign Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. I kind of like that. What about you, boy? Draft picks of the Eagles. They do very well. You guys should have your teams do that.
Yeah, definitely sign those guys.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, but definitely sign those guys for sure.
Man,
let's not overthink this one.
I was looking at the Eagles drafts the other day, and you guys remember Brian Dawkins?
Oh, yeah. How could you forget? Coolest visor ever.
Oh, my God. I love
No
him.
disrespect to Cam Chancellor.
Dawkins, Fletcher Cox, Harold Carmichael, Mike Quick, loved him. Randall Cunningham. Remember Randall Cunningham? Oh, what an arm that guy had.
Unfortunately, I wasn't alive to see Randall Cunningham. Donovan McNabb, much more my speed.
When Pacula was throwing everybody under the bus, did he throw every single? He says that the Bills coaches pushed for Keon Coleman. He's mad.
Well, listen, he gave Brandon Bean a pat on the back in his dessert and told him he's been a very good little boy. So let's not say he was throwing everyone under the bus. Like, I don't know what kind of relationship is going on here between the two of them. I don't know why Beaner is so absolved from responsibility, but apparently him and Josh are the only ones in the organization who are safe.
But he has a kind face. Does Beaner?
I got to be honest, man. I wanted Keon Coleman in that draft too.
Okay,
I can't.
Well, that's good though. You're honest about it.
Yeah.
I wanted Mark Pouliot in his draft too. It didn't work out. Probably should stop admitting it, but it's the way it works. So how do we? I just want first blush, like we did yesterday with Donovan. I don't need your predictions, but let me know how you're feeling emotionally about the NFL playoff games this weekend, and where you're, I guess, maybe not leaning, but what storyline do you anticipate being written?
Jared Stidham, backup quarterback, takes his team to the Super Bowl. I'm serious.
Really?
I'm serious.
Oh, that would be great. If you continue that all week, that's just pure entertainment.
Watch his Auburn highlights. They're sick. They're absolutely sick. He makes some sick throws on the run, too, from the last time he took the snap.
Did he get
in
to
the NFL.
Did somebody give him some glue or something over there? Is he serious?
You don't get to the league without being a good college quarterback, for sure.
Oh, my God, you guys.
But, like, again, he hasn't taken a snap in 2 years, to be clear.
Big stage, man.
Hey, you know what? Big-time players show up when the lights shine the brightest. You know what I mean?
Well, if he gets 3 completions in a row, then maybe you got something. But chances are something's going to go bad early.
Breaking news, Fork found in kitchen. Yeah, he's going to complete 3 passes in a row. Doesn't matter if they're little check downs.
I don't know.
I expect one Jared
Lots
Stidham,
of pressure.
like air out on this one. I am so serious. He's gonna bomb this thing like 45 yards down the field.
So you're picking them to win?
No, I'm leaning that way.
All right, here we go.
I'm leaning that way.
You're leaning that way.
I'm leaning Broncos. Their defense is incredible.
Okay, what about the other game? That's the one. The Super Bowl winner is in that game.
The Super Bowl winner is probably in that game, unless Jared Stidham is just elite. Like,
what are we? Did the Stidham family get to you? Did Big Stidham get to you?
I haven't heard one mention of the Pats from you guys. Like, I can't count out the Pats.
I know you can't count out the Pats. I'm very aware. However,
I believe I was the one
Super Bowl
who.
Year.
I believe I was the one who argued for the Patriots just to be a clown when you guys were poo-pooing that and thinking that all of your great picks that are all gone now would make it.
Hey, a lot can change in 3 weeks.
I'll say. We thought you knew football 2 weeks ago.
Unfortunately. We live in a different world than we did just 3 weeks ago.
Listen, I picked the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup the last 2 seasons. This year, I'm not picking them, and my hope is that will push them through. Anything happening in the NBA? How are my 76ers doing?
Not terrible.
Good.
Probably a little above expectations. Maxey.
He's so good.
All-star.
Hey, Maxey, you're so
starter.
fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Maxey.
I said this, like, he's top 5 in my MVP ballot.
So good. Now. And God, did they need him? Like, can we agree that they needed him to do this?
Yeah, they absolutely. Because the thing about Tyrese Maxey is, like, when Joel was hurt and Tyrese had to be the guy, like, he put up great numbers, but he didn't lead the team to wins. Now, obviously, he's not leading them to some, like, 57 win pace or anything like that, but he's starting to play as a guy you can rely on to, like, actually be the guy who can lead your team to wins. Very good news for them.
They won't win 50 though, right? Like, they won't win 50 games.
No. That's asking too much. 38.
Well, come on, 40.
38.
They're 23-19 right now.
Yeah, 15 more wins with just less than half the season to go. Yeah, 15 more wins. Listen, they lost to.
I vehemently disagree.
They lost to a Denver Nuggets team without the entire starting lineup.
Maybe they were nervous.
Sure. in Philadelphia.
Especially, you know, the fans there.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The 76ers probably deserved the booing in that game.
Stidman, more like Studman.
Stidham, more like Studham. Yeah, buddy. And I'm aware, whoever sent that text in, Badniv, that he hasn't thrown a ball in years in an actual NFL game. But come on, man, where's your belief? This would be a great story.
I love that you're going this direction. This is great for the
Foles
show.
This is Foles versus the Patriots, you know?
So we're going to see the Philly special?
No, we're gonna see the Broncos ride special or something like that. I'm not totally sure.
Is Brady doing the game, the Patriots game? Because if he is, I swear he's going to run down there and put on the.
He'll probably do the Rams Seahawks game. He'll probably be on the NFC Fox broadcast.
Okay.
Well, he'll definitely be on Fox, but I think that'll be the NFC game.
AA Ron says Volpe is a good Gold Glover coming off a down year, but he's not going to play for he's hurt, right? Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, fantastic outfield. Grisham is how old is he? 33, and he could pull a hammy in spring training. I don't know why you don't get a center fielder. Well, I don't know why they signed Grisham, or I guess he agreed to the qualifying offer.
Hey, Trent Grisham's only 29 years old.
Okay, so you got Grisham, Bellinger, Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Jason Dominguez. So based on their last season, Grisham had a year that really stands out in his career. Judge is Judge. Bellinger's, he played well. Giancarlo Stanton should retire. And you got Jason Dominguez, who may not be able to play, and he's the one guy who might have a little bit of upside if you play him. Spencer Jones' debut likely is that guy strikes out during the anthem. When I was a kid, the Yankees always had guys like Otto Velez, right? And Otto Velez is going to be a great player, and they gave him up in the expansion draft of the Blue Jays. Jays and Mets prospects are the most overrated prospects in baseball. They absolutely are. And people always say things like, geez, Milwaukee's doing well. How'd they get all these players? Well, because nobody hypes up their prospects. Nobody's paying attention to them. And when you get to the big leagues, they're Jackson Churio. I've said my piece. Hey, boys, I have a theory I heard a theory about last night's game. About Nugent Hopkins' celebration party. Come on. There's more rumors and stuff about what people do than, one thing I will say, and I've always said this, I was around in the 80s, and if we want to start poking holes in the modern Edmonton Oilers, then we're bringing everything out. And I'm telling you, there was some stuff that happened. So I'm not buying any of that, man. If I've heard so many unbelievable, and we just had one in Ottawa, right? Where somebody starts a conversation and somebody else believes it, and then we end up, talking about something that is, salacious and outrageous and not true. So I'm not buying it. These guys are in their late 20s, right? I'm not saying they don't have a good time, but I can't imagine these prime athletes in the middle of the season would go out and do something that would cost them 3 days. You'd have to really, really, really do some damage.
At this point, they're probably more or less going to Connor and Lauren's house and having some wine,
right. and having a nice meal,
There's still some dudes who like to get after it, I bet.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, but they're all 22. And the guys who were 22 scored last night.
I just think of the old NBA stories of Jeff Teague being in Atlanta and just Magic City, Magic City, Magic City.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I don't remember where I read it, but it was the Jerry Buss Lakers, and they were at the Forum. And the stuff, the stuff we could never repeat happening during the game.
Yeah, man. There's a reason Magic Johnson had to retire early.
Just saying. The boys didn't look good, but I'm not going to blame it on anything. But they just didn't have they had it in the third period. Oh, I guess it comes and goes. I don't think they showed up at the beginning of the game, and the Oilers do this. This version of the Oilers has that in their back pocket. I call it indifference. But I honestly don't think it has anything to do with anything, off the ice. And I'm not even going to entertain that because I think it's silly. I don't know how you would be that kind of athlete and then go and do that in the middle of the season and expect to be able to show up and play well. And they did play well in the third period. They were out of sight in the third period. Okay, on the way, more of your comments. I'd like to get into, if we can, a little bit about this 3 goalie thing, which is driving Ira on my blog crazy. I don't think it impacts games to go 11-7 for a couple of games. And I do like the idea of having an extra goalie in case somebody gets hurt or somebody falls into a real slump. But let's talk about it next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant. All
Still 30 seconds. One steal by Carter Brown. And the Devils may have something brewing shorthand. Here's Carter Brown. Center pass. Shot. Still 30 seconds. One steal by Carter.
On net through a screen. Good save by Jake Allen.
Wallman. Devils won. Puck play with a high stick. But it's ruled a goal on the ice. Wallman, the trigger man, and Matt Savoy has broken a 16-game.
It's Doxis. Over to Hatsumura. To a cutting.
Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit GreatCanadianSolar.com and call today to get started.
$14.40, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. I miss Jackie Ray. I used to, when I arrived here in this building, I knew her a billion years ago, and I had forgotten how funny she is. And now she's retired, and I don't see her every day. And so we've got the curling coming at Worlds, right? So let's see if we can get her on a few times before and then during and at the end of the men's and women's here as they come up in a month or so. Or who are we going to get for the Olympics? Who's going to be our Olympic expert? Who have we got? We could be,
Devin Hero, maybe.
Oh, that would be outstanding. But I mean, Devin Hero is going to be busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need somebody who's really good but not busy, like me. I don't know. We'll have to work on that. Are you looking forward to the Olympics?
I love the Olympics.
I do too.
More of a summer guy, but still love the Olympics.
I remember staying up till God knows when to watch Katrina LeMay-Doan and Schmerler in the Schmerler rink. It had to be like 2 a.m. It was in Japan, I think. And I enjoyed it. And also the whole speed skating thing, I got really into that. I'm not equipped for speed skating. I don't skate well and I don't have long legs. But other than that, I'm there. Apparently, all the people out there are absolutely great at their jobs every day. Somehow they think athletes are different. Humans are better some days than others. That's life. Relax, people. From Cheeseburger. Boy, I could go for a cheeseburger. Right? What's your favorite cheeseburger? Aside from homemade that you've barbecued.
Wait, so do you mean from a place?
And like, you can describe a cheeseburger that you like or what's on it, or you can say the cheeseburger from this place.
Oh, okay. Declan waved to me as he.
Because I don't have an answer. I already have.
So you don't have cheeseburgers?
No, he definitely eats turkey burgers. Have you seen this man? He's a temple to healthiness over here.
He always says he isn't.
Yeah, well, I've watched him eat chicken and rice or chicken and salmon with some peas in it basically the entire time I've worked here.
Yeah, it's because he's down on big oatmeal now.
Yeah, well, yeah, fair enough. And the time I started working with you guys after the oatmeal incident on this show, anyways.
He's never been more entertaining than that day.
I worked on the show the next day, but I was listening to it as it happened. Anyways.
So good.
Give me a double cheeseburger, cheese on both slices, caramelized onions, bacon, mustard, barbecue sauce, relish, brioche bun.
Very good.
Pickles.
I'd have
the pickles.
I'd have mustard and Hellman's together. Really good. Yeah.
Just making me hungry.
Yeah.
I brought lentils today, by the way.
Wow. See, I told you. Temple of Healthiness.
I think
Lentil was a Barbra Streisand movie, wasn't it?
No, he was a Russian. He was a Soviet leader.
You learn something new every day.
No, you guys didn't react to that at all. I thought that was such a good joke.
Well, okay.
Well, I know you meant Lenin.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
you
it
guys,
was Yentl, so I was also being humorous. But the point is, what we're trying to do is re-up each other, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, cheeseburger. Listen, I like the brioche bun. I like mayo. I like mustard and ketchup. I like a big, thick, juicy patty, 6-ouncer. I like lettuce. I like pickles. I like cheese. I guess that's it.
See, I like mine smashed. I don't need the big, thick patties. I like a smash burger.
Smash burgers are nasty. If I'm going maybe like fast food place, I like Five Guys.
Well, you can load those some bucks up. I tell you what.
Do you guys ever go to Fuddruckers?
No.
Fuddruckers was like the coolest place ever if you were like a hamburger nerd, because you would order your hamburger and then they had this massive row of condiments that you could put on, and you just put on what you wanted to as much as you wanted. It was great. You could make the ultimate Fuddrucker burger every Fuddrucking time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ontario has this place called The Works.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, is it delicious? Yeah, it's like it's just a burger place. They have crazy milkshakes too. They bring it to you in like the giant measuring cup, like the 4 cups. So a liter. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole page is just burgers, and it's like they have cool names. The Obi-Wan Kobe burger. So it's Kobe beef patty with some stuff on it, but like they have the classics, and then there's like, the peanut butter and jam burger, or the Kraft mac and cheese burger. I'm like, listen, man, just give me my Obi-Wan Kobe burger and my liter of cookies and cream milkshake, and then load it up with whatever you want. Like they have the whole toppings list, whatever. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm chilling.
Fuddruckers was the best place ever. I used to go there for my birthdays. I used to be on Calgary Trail. It was awesome. They had a big, a little arcade room too. Fuddruckers was the best. Big slab of meat in the front window. I knew guys who would drive to Saskatoon for Fuddruckers when it left here. I don't know if it's still there or not. They used to have a Dog and Suds in Saskatoon that I loved too as well when I lived in Saskatchewan. At Fuddruckers, you could also order your burger medium rare. Yeah, that is true. I remember that. All right. So in some areas of the internet, the idea that the Oilers are carrying 3 goaltenders has become an issue. And we thank CBC for pronunciation, because they had to run 11-7 Leon Draisaitl in Germany for family reasons. Kasperi Kapanen hurt, and Podkolzin out early in last night's game, and they had 7 defensemen, and they were down like basically a line of forwards. So I understand in this one particular instance, I don't think that's why they lost the game. But in that one particular instance, you could say, hey, man, you need to have that extra forward. But it's short term. And then the other side of it is, let's say you put Picard on waivers today, and there's always a team that's going to look for a goaltender. Even if they don't really need the guy, they might be blocking somebody else or whatever the case may be. Well, right now you have insurance. If Pickard is here and then somebody gets hurt, then you have your 3 goalies. You do not want to go try to get a goaltender at the trade deadline if you've already spent a lot of assets and money to get Tristan Jarry and lucked out on Connor Ingram. I just think it makes, like, I'm not going to be critical of Stan Bowman for running it like this. Sam Pollock did. He had 3 goalies in 73, 74 or 72, 73, 74. Ken Dryden was sitting out for a contract dispute, and they went with Michel Larocque, Michel Plas, and Wayne Thomas all year. LT, don't forget Fuddruckers was the place where they had the butcher making the ground beef for the patties right there invisible. It was a really unique place, you know. If I could bring back any one store from my youth, it would be Consumers Distributing. I'm telling you, man, that place was rock and rolla. You go in and you need like a television, say, and you go and you look at their catalog that is chained along with a pencil that's chained to the desk. And there's like 8 desks, stand-up desks. And you go, all right, page 71, item E, candle television, $79. And you go over to, and you I think you take a number, and you go over, and when it's your turn, you give them the sheet, and then a guy on roller skates, oh yeah, oh doctor, this is the real deal, flies down the warehouse, which is behind, and he's gone. He's a bullet. He's getting your television. And it's going to be to you within 11 seconds. You pay your money. You go out. The entire exchange, maybe 4 minutes. You didn't steal the pencil. You didn't steal the catalog. You got your candle television for a good price. Thank you, Consumers Distributing. I bristle at Sam Pollock. Me too, Slurpy Sean. Me too.
Kind of a cool Fuddrucker stat.
Mm-hmm.
2 locations in Canada as of June 2019, 33 in the Middle East.
Yeah, it's a good place, man. The Middle East got it going. They know what they're doing. One of the 2 might still be Saskatoon.
Yeah, Saskatoon and Regina. Yep. This is as of June 2019 per the Wikipedia page. 156 locations in the States.
How come Wikipedia updates every 78 seconds everywhere else but stuff that's in Saskatchewan?
Yeah, well, Saskatchewan is a little bit, behind the times. Things move a little slower around there.
Is this another shot at North Battleford?
Listen, no one here loves Saskatchewan more than me.
Wow.
but
Gordie Howe came from
Lowetide,
Saskatchewan.
look at who I'm talking to. You're from Maidstone. You know things move a little slower in Saskatchewan.
I'll tell you what, when in grade 4, in grade 4, I moved from the lower mainland of British Columbia in middle of grade 4 to Maidstone, Saskatchewan, and they almost failed me because I was so far behind. The curriculum was so far ahead in Saskatchewan.
When people ask you where you're from, do you tell them BC, Saskatchewan, or Edmonton?
I say I grew up in Maidstone, Saskatchewan. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
I was born in Mission, BC. I grew up in Saskatchewan, and since I've been about, 18, 19, around then, I've lived here. Well, and I went to Regina a couple of times and Red Deer, but mostly here. But I consider myself a Saskatchewan kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love the ocean. I do, but I love the flatlands too. I miss the prairies. You know what I miss? Oh my God. The show becomes a little bit reminiscent when I start talking like this, but I live in St. Albert, and even at very night, like deep into the nighttime, there's so many lights, you don't really see the stars. I miss looking up and seeing the stars and the northern lights dancing. And the part of the world that I grew up in, 17 miles north of Maidstone, in the mid 1970s, it had it was just like a spectacular show in the sky. The stars and the northern lights dancing. It was beautiful. I miss that. I miss that a lot. I don't think my kids would be familiar with that because they've grown up in a city.
My cousin's ranch in southern Saskatchewan, you could see the stars, for miles. It felt like, and
so
it was
good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, your folks are all your relatives are all from southern Saskatchewan.
No, I mean, my dad's family is from Swift Current.
Okay, yeah,
and then his cousins out in Rock Glen, some family in PA, another tough city, and then when my grandpa got his job as a judge, that's when they moved to Battleford. But my dad, it was that was the early 90s.
Okay. How long was your grandpa a judge?
I think it would have been 16 years because it would have been from 91 to 07.
Right.
There's actually a really funny story about that. So when he took the job in Battleford, my grandma was running for mayor of Swift Current, and she barely lost the race.
Well,
but he didn't tell her. He was kind of secretly hoping she lost the mayoral race.
Did he vote against her? That would be so cool.
So I think the story is that he didn't vote actually, or maybe he actually forgot or something like that. But yeah, crazy little piece of family lore there.
Jeez, I tell you that'd be you sleep with one eye open the night that your wife loses the election and you forgot to vote. God.
But he had to take that's the other thing. He had to take this judgeship in North Battleford.
We didn't have to take the judgeship. Is that what they call it? A judgeship? Are you sure?
No. Sorry, Josh is eating, so I did turn his mic off. Sorry, Josh. It's literally a plot line in How I Met Your Mother, he says. And I've seen that show twice through, so I should know that. Anyway.
That's a weird show. I mean, eye candy galore, but it is a weird show. Which one are they talking about? Who's the guy who's saying How I Met Your Mother? Which one of the guys is talking? Who is it?
It's Ted, Josh Radnor.
The guy from Sarah Marshall?
Nope, that's Jason Segel. He's married. He get the very first episode, the pilot. He gets engaged to
Allison Hannigan.
Allison Hannigan from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And in season 9, this is the whole plot, is that he accepted a judgeship in New York, but she's an art dealer.
Oh, wow.
Or I don't know, an art,
they stole
art consultant or whatever.
Grandpa's story.
Yeah. And she gets a job in Italy working for a boss for a year. And he accepts this judgeship without telling her. And then there's a whole it's 12 episodes of him going from Minnesota to New York to catch Barney Stinson's wedding. Where he
got married?
To Robin, who later
the TV girl,
and then they just randomly get divorced.
And then they get divorced.
What the hell?
A flash forward.
This is honestly the worst finale in TV history. I'm sorry to the Soprano fans and whoever else, but this one is the worst because the 9 seasons you build up to meeting the mother, and you go, great, man. This is happily ever after for Ted. They kill her off just so he can be with Robin at the end of the show. It's the stupidest thing ever. And they wrote it at the beginning of the show. They knew how it was going to end. because they had to film every scene with the kids so that they didn't get older.
Oh, wow.
And so they knew for 9 seasons. It's so bad. Sorry for the spoilers, everybody.
Well, also, Robin was the prize of the show. Can we agree with that?
No, she shouldn't have
She
been.
wasn't.
We got to take a break also. but-
Okay. All right. More sports on the way. Kevin McCurdy will join us, and we will definitely talk about the Oilers. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right, homes and businesses. Visit the new showroom, 115-77 149th Street. Open 6 days a week, Saturday hours from 10 to 2. Plus, visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. NHL action getting going at 5 with the Red Wings and Maple Leafs. 2 games at 7, Ducks and Avs, and Flyers and Mammoth late game today in the NHL sees the Washington Capitals in Vancouver to take on the Canucks. NBA action tips off at 5 with the Cavs and Hornets. Toronto will be in the late games there in Sacramento to take on the Kings at 8. Line for that one currently Toronto -5.5. News around the sporting world. The Yankees have reached a 5-year, $162.5 million deal with Cody Bellinger. Bills owner Terry Pegula apparently made the call to fire the coach in the locker room after the loss. And the Anaheim Ducks, Jackson Lacombe, will replace injured Seth Jones on Team USA for the Olympics. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Hear ye, hear ye. Dragon fruit has returned to Booster Juice. Prepare thyself for the legendary alchemy of the Dragon Slayer smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and Dragon Booster Ball. Yeah. Does dragon taste like chicken? Hey, Booster Juice uses only delicious tropical dragon fruit. No dragons are harmed. Get thee to Booster Juice before dragon fruit vanishes once more.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The future of female hockey is here. It's season 2 of the Female Super League, the first ever female-only independent hockey division in Western Canada, with teams from British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Featuring 16U, 14U, and 12U divisions, the FSL brings showcase weekends packed with thrilling games, and our 14U and 16U have been pioneering the advanced body checking rule, empowering young players. The Female Super League, where the best in female hockey takes center ice. Details at femalesuperleague.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned, community driven. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com. Joined now by Kevin McCurdy. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Alan. How are you doing this week?
Good. I was very impressed by the Oilers leading up to last night's game. But they had a little bit of that fumbleitis where they look indifferent for 2 periods and can't score to tie the game. And that is a disappointing result, even though it's just one game.
Yeah, it sure is. They sure can't seem to string 3 consecutive victories together at all this year. And the inconsistency is really it's frustrating as a fan. I'm sure it's frustrating as a player and as a coach. I'm sure they would like to find a little bit more of it from game to game.
The 11-7 combo is getting a little bit of criticism today. They're running with 3 goaltenders. I still like the idea of going, through the Olympics anyway with 3 goalies and then making a decision. Do you think that hampers them, especially, Draisaitl in Germany, Kapanen not available, and then Podkolzin, as it turns out, sitting in the penalty box for quite a bit of the first period?
Yeah, honestly, let's face, I understand the instigating rule as a whole and why it's there, but that particular situation really didn't feel like instigating. It felt like 2 willing combatants going at it. I don't really want to lose a third asset on waivers this year, and I do think there's a good chance another team would grab Pickard if we tried to put him through. And given, Jari's injury history, I'm okay with carrying 3 goalies. So I wonder if the team looks like a temporary solution, like sending Ike Howard down to the minors because his cap hit is $1.6 million while they're consuming LTIR, and then bringing 2 lesser cost players back up, like a Max Jones and somebody else making $800,000, right? I think that might be a better solution, at least for the short term, because if you're going to run 11-7 and then play Alec Regula, 2.5 minutes the whole night, that's not really getting anything done. It's also not helping Alec, right? Like, he can't. How are you supposed to get any sort of rhythm when you haven't played for 2 or 3 games and then you get 2 minutes of ice time?
Yeah, no, it's a waste of time. There's no doubt about that. Which goalie do you like better?
Which goalie do I like better? Wow, that's a loaded question.
I don't have an answer, so that's why I'm asking it.
There's a lot of reasons I like Connor Ingram. I think that he has an excellent first read, and if the Oilers let him play that first read and they take away the second and third reads, I think he's really good within that system. I think Jari makes some impressive saves like that. That old school Hasek cartwheel was pretty impressive last night. Got to say that I'm sure won some fans over, and it's nice to see some extra athleticism out of both of our goalies, or all 3 of our goalies, and I think that a Jari Ingram tandem is probably what the team needs going forward, as long as they both can stay healthy.
They scored 1 goal last night, so I'm not going to put too much importance on any single player. And I thought Nurse Wallman played well together when they were together. But Nurse goes a little walkabout on what turned out to be the winning goal, and we're over a decade into his career. Is that just the cost of doing business, or do you think that there's at this point a way to maybe have better recognition of a moment?
I don't know, man. That you can't be making line changes like that in 2026. It doesn't matter if you're Alec Regula or Evan Bouchard or Darnold. Like, it does not matter who the person is. It's a situational awareness problem. That was a fairly horrendous line change all the way around. Didn't, just not not being aware of what's going on the ice and directly led to a goal against. And, the first goal, you kind of wish that, I'm sure Jari wants that one back, as they go to say. And I don't know. Both goals had mistakes that directly led to them. And that was, I guess, the difference last night.
It's, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but this is a wonderful opportunity for this team. The homestand that has included both the Blues and Devils, but has the Penguins, Capitals, Ducks, Sharks, and Wild still to come. They're in the month of January. They're 5-3-2 after blowing the doors off in December. You'd really like to see them get maybe 20 points in 15 games here during January, and I'm not saying there's an opportunity missed, but they really have to bear down here at the rest of the homestand. Fair?
Yeah, absolutely. New Jersey came at them last night with additional speed that I don't think they were really ready for, and they made a lot of panic decisions and honestly some just absolutely sloppy playmaking. Like, I don't think I've seen so many bobbles and missed passes and missed opportunities in one single game in quite a while. And that's just something they have to clean up. I don't know if the ice was bad or if just they were playing under pressure and they weren't dealing with that pressure very well. And again, like you said, Podkolzin was out for 17 minutes of on ice time, and that's that's a significant portion of the game when you're down to 10 forwards. So I think they were probably pretty gassed by the end of that game.
We're with Kevin McCurdy on Sports 1440 and the Lowdown with Lowetide. I did an item today for the Athletic on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and what I did was I went and looked at some some facts that I might find over the years, and what I found was he has been part of, I'm going to say, two really separate and distinct eras. We'll call them the Hall and the McDavid eras, and highs and lows in both of them. But one thing that has been true all down the line is that Nugent Hopkins arrived at 18 with Horkoff and Gagne and others as the center depth chart, Belanger, and quickly became one of the players that was counted on. And these many years later, it's a long career already. He's still a guy who is central to this team's success. And from an Oilers point of view, 1,000 games. He's not that far away from Kevin Lowe and breaking the all-time record. I'm not going to ask you to rank, the Oilers' all-time players because that's impossible. But in the history of the Edmonton Oilers, how unique is Nugent Hopkins because of his utility as a player and his longevity with the team?
I think Nugent Hopkins is easily somebody that should be in the honor circle. He may not be somebody that at the end of his career he gets a banner lift, the Wayne Gretzky's or even the Kevin Lowe's, as you said. But his utility over the years has been indispensable, and he proves it every single game or most games. And he's playing phenomenal hockey this year, especially, right? Like, he's a utility knife. He's always been that person to fill the gap, whether it's on the power play or the penalty kill, or playing 3C or one left wing, right? Like, it doesn't matter where you put him. He is capable of bringing something to the ice every single shift, and that is that's an indispensable thing. And I've heard calls over the years for him to be traded and whatnot, and I'm so glad that he's I hope an Edmonton Oiler for the remainder of his career.
Well, I remember worrying they were going to trade him, and then Chiarelli traded everybody else. He traded Hall and Everly, but he kept the center, which I totally understand. And I do appreciate Nugent Hopkins' game for the wide range of skills he has, and he doesn't loop. He always stops and starts. He's always near the puck. He's a fantastic stealth back checker, and he can forecheck like a demon too. If you're teaching young people how to play hockey, Nugent Hopkins would be a really good player to model because he's so good at it. From the point of view of the deadline, we're seeing this team pretty good right now. I mean, last night aside, I feel like the defensive structure looks good. The goaltending seems to be tracking well. Where, in your opinion, is there a need here that Stan Bowman might want to address at the deadline?
Right now, you either have to figure out if Nugent Hopkins is your left wing, your first line left winger, or if he's your 3C. If he's not your 3C, then that's their need. What's been sort of exposed by Draisaitl being out is that outside of Nugent Hopkins, they do not have another top six center. So if something, God forbid, were to happen to McDavid, and while Draisaitl was out, you would be having Nuge as your top line center, and then what do you have? What's next? Jack Roslovic, he's done okay, I guess, in the center position, but he really is a winger. Like, he's a top six winger through and through. So I think that you have to make a decision about what Ryan Nugent Hopkins is for the remainder of this run, and then you have some decisions to make on whether you're going for a top six scoring winger or you're going for a 3C. But I think that's your pressing need at the moment, and just some life for the bottom six in general.
Do you, and this isn't meant to be a put down or anything like that. This is just an observation. Do you think they're faster without Henrique at center?
Yes.
And is it possible? Yeah, is it possible that Henrique, when he comes back, might slide onto the wing as opposed to playing center?
I don't know, man. Curtis Lazar's making a heck of a case to be the 4C right now, and so unless Henrique can smack it out of the park at 3C, I don't really know how he fits into the center position for the remainder of the season. One thing that I've noticed is, like, this team is faster with some of the people out that have been out, right? Like, it's a noticeable difference. Like, that Jack Roslovic, Savoy, Howard line has something to it. Their analytics aren't as good as the eye test would tell you, but there's still something there. They're still running over 50% in all the major categories. So I think that's worth another look at some runtime. Like, if you can make a capable third line out of that, that's something to talk about. But I don't know. I like Rico. There's some good things that he brings to the team and to the table, but it's increasingly obvious that the end of his career, or at least the next stage of his career, is coming fairly fast.
Somebody asked me the other day if the Oilers should put their hat in the ring for Artemi Panarin. It probably would involve a Mangiapane trade with no retention, and then Henrique waiving to be traded as part of that deal. Panarin's 34. He has to waive it. He might want a long-term contract as part of a trade. There's problems, and chances are it never happens. But if you had the druthers, would you go after Panarin? It's whale hunting, but that's a hell of a player.
Yeah, I think he's a hell of a player for sure. I know he has some history with Stan Bowman. At this point of Panarin's career, I'm not sure I'd be looking to shell out $10 million for him. And I don't know the player that well. I'm going to be honest. I'm aware that there might be some off-ice concerns too, potentially, with him, if my memory serves me right, which it doesn't always. So I would be more inclined to target somebody like a Jason Robertson, although, again, if we want to look at the list of things that'll never happen, that's probably on the list as well. But that's probably the type of player that I would be looking at instead.
Yeah, that's fair. As for the rest of the week here, Leon back soon. Hopefully Kapanen back soon too. But tomorrow night, an opportunity, I don't know that we'll see it, to see Jari versus Skinner in different uniforms. One of the last times we saw that, it was Mike Smith and I believe it was Cam Talbot, and all hell broke loose. What are your expectations tomorrow night?
I'm not sure if we can expect a goalie fight tomorrow per se, but it's still one of the most entertaining games that I remember in recent history. But I think what we can expect is that fans are happy on both sides to have had a change. I'm not sure that I would go so far as to say Jari's been a revelation, but a change of scenery has been good for him. And I think a change of scenery has been good for Stuart Skinner too. And he's still the same streaky guy, but he's a likable dude in as many ways as you can think of. And I'm disappointed that those were the decisions that ended up having to be made. But I'm also, I can't say as I miss having a panic attack every time the opposing team had a breakaway, if you know what I mean, right? That's an important change for the fan base, and it's an important change for the team that plays in front of him.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Thanks for this. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Have a good week, everyone.
There you go. Kevin McCurdy. We appreciate his time talking about the Edmonton Oilers, and some very good insight there. And I agree with him about the goaltending. I think that thanks I for call this. it calm Appreciate feet, it. Have a but good one. There's a sense of making that first save and maybe not giving out a rebound. And we'll see how, obviously you have to go through the regular season and then get back to the final. And we'll see. But the question I have, and I appreciate Kevin's answer, is, and I don't have an answer. Terrible radio, but I know starting game one of the playoffs, it would be Tristan Jarry. I don't know that Connor Ingram is the backup. We'll see. All right, we'll take a break. On the way, your comments about Kevin's conversation with me and more. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Hey, Edmonton, did you know a local Play Alberta winner scored over $500,000 on Mega Jackpots Ocean Bells? Think about the season tickets you could lock down with that kind of cash. From major casino winners every hour to jackpots worth millions and hundreds of popular games to money that stays in the province, there's never been a better time to sign up for Play Alberta. Download the app today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. When you gamble, use your game sense.
This Sunday, it's high-impact family fun that's second to none.
See Oil Rumble 3, an afternoon of wrestling in Ice District. Catch all the slap shots and suplexes as your Edmonton Oil Kings battle the Saskatoon Blades.
It's Family Fun Sunday with face painting, bouncy castles, plus pregame and intermission Love Pro Wrestling matches.
And Paramount Kids food combos are $10 or less. Value that hits harder than a steel folding chair.
Edmonton, Saskatoon, Family Fun Sunday, and Oil Rumble at Rogers Place.
Great seats at Rogers Place start at only $20 at oilkings.ca.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Mr. Rooter goes skiing. Sick gear, Mr. Rooter. Are you ready to hit the slopes?
Not yet. I need to report a possible crime.
Oh no, what's happening?
I saw a bunch of hooligans discussing shredding the half pipe. As a plumber, I've taken the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm and act in the best interests of all pipes, whether PVC, copper, or otherwise.
It's made of snow, Mr. Rooter.
Snow? Things are worse than I had feared.
There's no better plumber than Mr. Rooter.
Why pay dealership prices when you can get the same quality for less? Hi, it's Lisa, and here at Ed's Auto Salvage, we've been Alberta's trusted source for used auto parts for nearly 50 years. From engines to mirrors, transmissions to tires, we've got it all at prices guaranteed to keep your wallet happy. Shop local, shop smart. Shop Ed's Auto Salvage in Westlock. Be sure to visit us online at edsautosalvage.com and get your vehicle back on the road for less.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Breaking down the fine art of sports, one rep at a time. The Lowdown with Lowetide. Thanks for checking out Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
It's the Lowdown on Sports 1440, 123, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out, wolfgmcbuick.com. Apparently Skinner's playing tonight against Calgary. I guess it's a guaranteed win night for the Penguins. No comment?
You know, the best is when you try and hit us with those little underhanded zingers, but we're like doing something
I know,
back
and you
here,
don't
so
hear
it
it.
doesn't
You
land.
don't hear it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
I love those moments.
2 hour
no,
show.
I heard it, clocked it, stopped for half a second, and then went back to my job.
So you didn't pick up the rope.
Pardon me?
I wanted you to say
No,
something.
no, I'm not picking it up.
All right. Tide, is McDavid so reliant on Nuge now? Also, is he this impatient with young guys wanting to play with him? Got to say, I'm disappointed. Well, if you look at last night's numbers from the McDavid line, I mean, they gave up a goal, but they had 89% expected goals and 6-0 high danger chances. So sometimes you got to give the other man his due. Jake Allen is really difficult for this Oilers team. They haven't beaten them in a long, long time. I would be more likely to be critical of the other lines. Kind of including the Roslovic line. They scored a goal, but they weren't dominant. But the top line, the minutes that they played Nuge on that line, they were really, really good. Part of the problem was they lost Podkolzin. So now you've got McDavid, Roslovic, Lazar, Nuge, and you move Nuge up to the McDavid line because you're trying to score. You're trying to tie the game. So I understand that. I don't think McDavid had a poor game at all. They didn't score, but they were all around it. And, part of the problem is that this team still relies on the Glimmer Twins, the top two players, too much. And that's why playing Savoy and playing Ike Howard is important, because you don't expect them to be the stars of the playoffs, but you would like one of them to play about as much as Dylan Holloway did in 2024. And he played quite a bit. You need secondary scoring. And I think Roslovic is that. I'll give credit where it's due. Roslovic, to me, is a guy likely to play outside the top 9 who can help a third line go. But I would still find a way, if I could, to put Nuge on that third line. Maybe with a bigger winger that they could acquire. I mean, I think Draisaitl with Podkolzin is written in stone, so you can't really move Podkolzin down to a third line with Nuge, but that would be really good. Podkolzin looks good with McDavid, eh? And with Draisaitl.
He's just a good player.
Man,
I like his game a lot.
But the Vancouver Canucks, it's like, it's funny to watch a franchise. Every year, they sit down, they take off their shoes, take off their socks, and then they blow all of their toes off. And that's the Canucks. And now they're in a rebuild. But they've been doing it for a while. And as much as, people can be critical of the Calgary Flames, I don't see Conroy doing that. This is not a full rebuild. He is making sure he's got enough veterans there for this team to be competitive. And they are going to get some really good young players who are going to come up and eventually replace the veterans. But he's not going scorched earth. The Oilers did, and they took forever, like a decade, to get out of it. I think Conroy's got a better mousetrap here. That's my opinion. And I know saying something nice about Craig Conroy on Edmonton radio is dangerous, but I'm just telling you what I think.
Craig Conroy, good GM. Guys at Flames Nation just think he's doing the owner's bidding.
Really? I think he's excellent.
I think he's really good. And I understand where they're coming from, because the whole thought process, and I think even the Flames owner came out and said, when we move into the new arena, we want a competitive team, which is why the team looks like this. It's because they're trying to figure out if there's a way, because listen, you start tanking, unless you get really lucky real quick, rebuild is like 5 years.
Yeah. And you want 2 new young parts every year who are going to be able to play substantial roles. Like when they brought up in 2010-11, they had Hall and Eberle, right? And then in 2011, Nuge came along, and can't remember when Klefbom came along, but they were getting 2 a year. And then they changed general managers. And I look back on that and I changing from McTee to Chiarelli was a turning point in this organization that I really do think put them back. And I was in favor of it. I thought Chiarelli was going to come in here and do, I mean, he might have paid too much for things, but he did in Boston, but they won a Stanley Cup. Never happened. And the Chiarelli era, they did some really good things. The Sekera contract was very good. They did some good things. They just did some bad things too, like trading Taylor Hall. Conroy is still in the teardown mode of the project. The rebuild hasn't even started in Calgary. Well, it's not a rebuild. That's what it's a paradigm shift. It's not you're not doing what the Oilers did, which is just sell off everything. You're remaining competitive while also acquiring assets that are going to develop over the next 2 or 3 years and then eventually replace. And I think that's brilliant. What's the name of that ridiculous defenseman they have down there that everybody's mad at?
Zane Perrick.
Okay. This kid is like I still haven't seen any Calgary media talk about how damn good he is. All I hear about is his attitude. I don't like guys can have a bad attitude, and I don't think I think he's just honest. I'm fine with that. It's like saying Declan says too much. I would never say that. I love that Declan is a refreshing, honest guy who just says what he thinks, and there's some thought behind it. And I think this kid is the same way. Let him play hockey. You'll end up loving him by year 3.
Also, Cole Rezhny over in Michigan State right now. I'm pretty amped up to see him next year. He was pretty good down the stretch in the World Juniors.
Too bad your guy that you love isn't working out. You're a winger from college.
Oh, Coronado.
Yeah.
No. Hey, you know what? There's still time. But like Zary, he's working out great.
Yeah, Zary's very good.
Pospisil has injury problems, obviously, which is a problem. But when he's on, he's on.
Well, he's a tough guy to play against.
Nails.
For sure.
I don't know if Uyghur's going anywhere. And I know he's not young, but like good piece.
Kadri's the guy that I know he's old as hills and twice as dusty, but I think and Backlund is like, he's
Backlund's old as dirt, and like I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, well, I don't actually know. He signed a 2-year extension this year, so he'll retire the season they move into the new arena. Like he'll be done the year after their first year in the new arena, I guess. Theoretically, if the construction moves at the way it goes. I'm interested to see what happens with Blake Coleman.
Yeah.
Because that's a guy that anybody would want.
I was a little disappointed. I still believe in Morgan Frost. I still believe him. I thought he'd have a better year than he's had.
Somehow he ended up as the 4th line center.
Yeah. Not a good spot.
And also, since he's on the 4th line center, you've seen a major dip in the Flames scoring, just so you know.
Yeah, it's the kind of move that probably is not going to, be successful. How do you feel, honestly, about Cooley outplaying Dustin Wolf by this much?
I think it's okay. I think it's the same thing that we saw with the Oilers doing with Skinner and Pickard.
And it's not like Wolf's playing terribly.
And Wolf is not playing bad. I think like his save percentage is right around 900. Every game it goes up, it goes down. But I think they play softer defense in front of Wolf because they were not playing great defense last year, and he was making ludicrous saves.
He was outstanding.
All over the place. And so I think that's just sort of where it's at right now. They have to get to this point of playing hard on defense no matter who's in front of them.
Yeah.
Pretty wild stuff. Same thing as the Skinner Pickard thing that everybody talked about for the last 2 years.
Yeah. And I don't think they make it to either final without Pickard, just so we know. Like, I'm not, by the way, reporting from Jason Greger 20 minutes ago, Connor Clattenburg just had surgery on his left hand, will be out a while. He is in Edmonton. Jason? Clattenburg really gave this team a lift. You hope by playoff time Frederick can be a physical player, an agitator. He certainly was in Boston. But no matter what happens with Clattenburg this year, he really showed something. At the age of 20, came in here and did some things. I'm very impressed by that. I did not think he would be that level of player, like really ever in the NHL. And I'm not saying he's ever going to, be Kelly Buchberger, but there are a lot of elements to his game that I know that the Edmonton Oilers can use. In last night's game, if Clattenburg had been in that contest, maybe they joined the battle before the third period. Because he would have, and somebody asked on here, why did Podkolzin get the 10 instigator? It wasn't, but that's referees are like, they see what they see, right? And I mean, I think it was completely bogus. I didn't even contemplate it until they called it, but that's what happened. It was right. It was an instigator. Yeah.
Instigator.
So, which it wasn't. By the time he got there, the gloves were off everybody. So that's not instigator. But Gold that Lowetide has mentioned 3 players now that are older than dirt. Actually, I think it was Josh who said that. Maybe I said it.
No, you were saying older than dirt.
All right. Now I am older than dirt.
Well, I mean, if Kadri's older than dirt, then yeah,
Well, he's 35 and Backlund's 36.
That sounds right.
So they should trade both, but I don't think Conroy will.
Backlund is never going to get traded. Let's be clear.
He's good though. Like he could.
I
could
get
help
that
a
he's
team.
good, but like I think like Calgary is his city, and also
the Oilers could have drafted him. They had
outcry.
3 tries to get him.
Trouba, the Rangers traded Trouba. Like you don't trade your team's captain.
Yeah, the Rangers are a mess. What a it's a disappointment, man.
But yeah, you don't trade your team's captain.
Summerside Sean says, "Hey Tide, I'm really hoping you intend to clarify what you mean by Ingram may not be the backup." Well, I'll clarify that now. I think he might be good enough to be the starter. Like if they go down the stretch with these 2 goaltenders and Ingram outplays Jari, I am suggesting that the Oilers coaching staff should be open to the idea that Ingram gets the net. They both arrived within a little while, and I know one's being paid more than the other, and we assume it's Jari, and I'm not trying to cause a controversy, but I'm saying that Connor Ingram, all by his lonesome, has played well enough to be in that conversation. And it might be a short one, but I think he earns the right to be at least talked about as a possible starter in the playoffs. All right, 136 on the way. Declinations. We're going to do Duncan with Declan and hooping with Josh straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Lowetide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
Invest for today and tomorrow. Vision Credit Union makes it simple with 2 RRSP options to fit your goals. Choose a secure term deposit RRSP with guaranteed returns or a mutual fund RRSP offering higher growth potential with exciting opportunities. With an RRSP, you'll save on your income tax, grow your investments tax-free, and get closer to your dreams, whether it's retirement or your first home. The deadline to qualify for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd. Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru. Engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Tackle the ice and snow with Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, delivering the power, control, stability, and grit you need. And when the temperature plummets, you'll cruise in comfort with heated seats and heated steering wheel. All this plus peace of mind with Subaru's top safety pick status for 19 years running. This winter, it's time to get you into a Subaru. Visit Subaru.ca today.
Succession is one of the most important transitions for any family farm. The Bridging the Gap Farm Transition Workshop, hosted by Farm Management Canada and partners, helps families plan together, from communication and timing to financing and building a strong transition team. Agriculture Financial Services proudly sponsors this one-day event in Edmonton, January 29th. Reserve your spot today at afsc.ca. Bridging the Gap. We'll build the next generation together.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. Jason Krueger just around the corner talking about last night's game and teeing up a very interesting game tomorrow night against the Pittsburgh Penguins here in Edmonton. Time now for Declinations presented by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca, article, podcast, and more, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth football coverage for the Double E online, elksnation.ca. And so it's Duncan with Declan, jamming with Josh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you got? What's this LeBron thing?
Yeah. So there are a few things I want to probably talk about here in this segment, and one of them, I want to talk about the All-Star starters, but yeah, we can start with this. So this was a report that came out from Baxter Holmes, who is a senior NBA reporter with ESPN, based out of LA. He said that Jeannie Buss began to turn on LeBron James years ago, and so here are kind of some of the things she was upset about. She grumbled about his outsized ego. That's a quote, outsized ego. She felt clutch. They exerted too much control. Didn't like how he was considered a savior of the franchise. Lack of accountability over the Westbrook trade. I can probably give her that one. She didn't really want to give him a contract extension, it sounded like. She even talked about trading him, even though he has no trade clause. She didn't feel like he was grateful the Lakers drafted Bronny. I can understand her gripe on that one as well. And then she kind of gave him a contract extension because she didn't want to take the PR hit if she didn't. And my thing is, I actually think to a degree, Jeannie Buss has, there's some validity and some merit to what she's saying. But the inverse of that also is hey, it's LeBron James. You kind of got to deal with that. Before LeBron signed there, they hadn't won a playoff series. They hadn't won a playoff series in 7 years. They hadn't been to the playoffs in 6 years. They went 27-55, 21-61, 17-65, 26-56, 35-47. Second year he gets there, they win a championship. Like LeBron, as good as LeBron is, and people really attack him for this, and I don't buy too much into the narrative, but I do think there is something to be said for, boy, he loves being in the limelight, and he loves being a superstar, and he loves having all the narratives about him. But like, if you're Jeannie Buss, you have to understand where the Lakers were. They had missed on a bunch of draft picks. It had been a real bad 7 years. They were trying to hang on to the corpse of Kobe, just so the fans had some to cheer about there in LA. And there wasn't really any direction from their young players. Like, the direction came in the form of LeBron as a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
And there are like the Bronny draft pick. Apparently the Warriors were interested in him. That's one of the reports that came out. Like, Bronny, he's way better than people on the text line or just the average fan think he is. Like, he's a bad NBA player. He is an NBA player. There are things like that, but overall, you got to understand, like, it was LeBron James. You're going to have to bend the knee a little bit.
But I think once you're in, it's a sunk cost. And unless there's an agitation to get him out of town, I'm not sure why this is coming out. Like, what's is there a purpose behind this, or is this just something that went public that wasn't supposed to?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like this is just all per a piece of investigative journalism or a report, like I said, that came out from Baxter Holmes. And so, yeah, you bring up a good point. Like, what is the point of all of this? Like, are you trying to? Like, this is, I guess, what I would say. The team very clearly needs to build around Luka and just say, hey, this is your team. Here are the keys. We're going to build around you, and probably move on LeBron, to do that, or at the very least, like, minimize his role significantly. But like, if you want to do that, there's certainly better ways to do it than alienating probably like the second most influential and powerful basketball figure in history besides Jordan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a weird way to go about it.
For sure. And we'll find out as we go all along how big a story it is. And I, like you said, and I think it's a good point. You said they are in a point where maybe she's pivoting because she sees what the direction is, and it doesn't include LeBron.
Yeah. Like, the future absolutely doesn't include LeBron. I mean, he's in year 23, 41 years old. He's going to turn 42, granted, at the end of 2026, like, just turned 41. And it's not that he's not a good player anymore. He was second team All NBA last year, but it's like, you have this young, in his prime superstar who, as much as I like Luka Doncic, like, he needs his team set up a certain way around him, and having someone, split possessions and split dominating the ball with him and LeBron, like, that isn't conducive to Luka being as successful as he can be. And for the Lakers to be as successful as they can be, they need Luka to be as successful as he can be.
Yeah,
so
that's all fair.
I'm waiting for Josh to chime in here.
Yeah.
That's why
he had that blank look.
Well,
again.
I was just sort of waiting. I was just reading over that headline there on NBA Today over and over again. Yeah, he's LeBron. You got to put up with all the on-court stuff, essentially. You
and
do
also,
not.
They've had prima donnas there before.
Oh yeah, they've had tons. Of Magic Johnson. Come on.
Kareem.
Magic wasn't really a prima donna. Kareem more so.
Kareem.
Magic was a good locker room guy.
And also, Magic really wanted to win. Like, he was obsessed with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they all were.
But like, you have to deal with the on-court stuff for sure. The off-court stuff of like trade. I want Russell Westbrook. Clutch Sports being as heavily involved as like
they
essentially confirmed now, rather than like the speculation of how involved Clutch Sports is. Like, this is the Lakers we're talking about, right?
Yep.
Like, this is like if Aaron Judge's agent was like, "Hey man," talking to Steinbrenner, being like,
"It's not, because LeBron is LeBron and Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge."
I get that LeBron is LeBron, but that doesn't mean that like your agent has total power over the franchise that he plays for, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll also say this. I think with 9 other franchises, he would, and it would be accepted. The Lakers, maybe the Celtics as well, are kind of the odd
Lakers,
ones out.
Celtics are the ones that
probably more the Lakers. Like, I don't even really think of that with the Celtics.
I think so. You're
I know
the
they have a
winningest
great history,
franchise in NBA history. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
don't
mean,
have
they
to-
won 11 rings when there were 8 teams, but you know, still,
wins a win. I don't think the Heat would put up with that much. Pat Riley would tell Rich Paul to go cuss himself or whatever, right? But yeah, I think we all knew like the joke is, oh, they were going to draft Bronny because it's LeBron James's son. Like, yeah, it makes sense. Be a little grateful that your son got drafted
for sure. But you would agree, like Bronny's not as bad as people make him out to be.
Got 2 All-Star votes.
I have one question, and then I'm gonna move along. But is this? I hate to say this, but is this inevitable? Because LeBron isn't the great player he was, but he is still the personality he is.
Well, and like, yeah, I mean, he's not the great player he once was. The great player he once was like the second best player ever. Like he was second team All NBA last year.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be an all-star again this year. He's still a great high level player. And it's like, I mean, it's just tough. Like when you've exhibited such control your entire career, and now all of a sudden, like there's a new young hot show in town who is better at basketball than you are. Like Luka is better than him, make no mistake. It's tough to kind of, cede control, but like, and it's not really his personality, to everyone's credit, but it's just something that kind of has to be done. But here's the other thing. Like, it's not like LeBron is scoring 8 points a game on 35% from the field and they're not selling any tickets.
Right.
Like he's still playing like a max level player and they're still the number 1 attraction in the NBA.
Yeah, this
you know what I
isn't
mean?
Dirk on the Mavs or like Timmy years last year,
Paul
or Kevin
Pierce.
Garnett, or Paul Pierce wasn't even playing. Like
Paul Pierce on the Clippers.
Paul Pierce played for the Clippers.
Paul Pierce on the Clippers. No,
his
I think he had
last
no
year.
points in his final game.
That is correct. He played 2 minutes or something in his final game. No points. Over 2 from the field. I think 1 board.
Draymond yelling at him like, "You thought you was Kobe? They don't love you like that."
Yeah, it's true.
That's a great quote.
It's like
that's brutal.
Draymond's a quote machine.
No one overestimates their own career more than Paul Pierce. No one thinks they were a better player more than Paul Pierce.
You don't recover from a line like that. That lives in infamy, right?
No, you don't. Yeah, that.
The thing is, the crazy part is like Paul Pierce is a Hall of Fame level, really good player, but he told everyone he was better than D Wade and he was on par with Kobe, and everyone was like, "Okay, we got to bring you back down to earth a little bit here, Paul."
And then ISO Joe Johnson crossed him up with literally a dribble that is taught to young children at this point. ISO Joe was cold. He was cold as hell, actually. Watch some Joe Johnson highlights, everybody.
Last thing I wanted to touch on, the all-star teams. I thought Anthony Davis should have made it, or excuse me, I thought Anthony Edwards should have made it out of the West over Steph. Steph's obviously a legend, great player. When you look at the numbers this year, when you look at the team success, and Steph was actually number 2 in the player vote behind Nikola Jokic, which shows how much respect the players in the league still have for him, and as they should. He's 37, playing at an incredibly high level. But I just think when you look at numbers individually, obviously, and then the team success, both of the guys being the driving factors on their team, I would have had Ant Edwards as a starter over Steph Curry. I didn't have any problem with the East. It's crazy that they really have like 3 guards and then a power forward with how it's set up. It's positionless, but yeah, the East starters were fine. Jaylen Brown really balling out. Wasn't sure what he was going to do this season over there in Boston. But in the West, I would have had Ant over Steph.
How about Cade Cunningham being number 1 in the player rank in the Eastern
I
Conference?
thought he was number 2. Was he number 1?
Number 1. Giannis, number 2.
Cade is having an unreal year. Now, Detroit's like come back down a little bit, but like Cade, man, what he's doing, the way he elevates teammates, like you always knew he could, but I don't know if we thought he could to this level.
Jaylen Brown was the number 1 media rank.
Yeah, they got a lot of respect for what he's doing over there in Boston. And Boston, they're second in the East right now.
And you tried to say they would be bottom of the league.
No, I said maybe not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Aged poorly.
Age poorly.
I got to go back and find that, actually. Got to go back.
See,
and
that's
YouTube.
the thing about Josh is that he has the receipts.
I do. Well, Declan has access to the receipts too. Technically, the whole internet does.
I guess you're right.
Anyone can go.
They can go find it. Sports 1440 AM on YouTube.
We
Go
also
subscribe.
all picked Cleveland going away, and more than halfway through the season, they're 24-20.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We can't all be winners. Unfortunately, I'm more of a winner than you. Unfortunately,
Wow, this
for
is
you.
really turning into something good.
In
here.
what capacity?
Oh, you picked the Celtics to be bad, and I didn't.
Season's not done, but yeah, I did. I said
both picked the Cavs.
maybe not a playoff team.
I feel like having a cigarette right now. I'm just watching this. This is so good.
I'm just ribbing a little bit. Yeah. Steph's still like.
By the way,
he's a one-man offense.
I don't smoke, and you kids out there shouldn't either.
Bad idea.
Yep. Okay. I enjoyed today. I really enjoy working with you too. You know, despite all the horrible things I say about you on the air and off the air. Really good time.
Just another great edition of the Lowdown with Lowetide.
3 in a row. All right. Jason Krueger on the way, talking about last night's game, the lack of 3 in a row, and so much more. And an update on Connor Clattenburg as well. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your day.
The Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier and tastier. Head to meals.loca.ca. Select the number of chef-crafted meals you'd like to eat and get them delivered to your door every Sunday for as low as under $10 per serving. Just heat, eat, repeat. Meals.loca.ca. Edmonton Oilers news surrounding Connor Clattenburg. He just had surgery on his left hand. He will be out a while. He is in Edmonton, that per Jason Krueger. NHL scheduled today. It all gets going at 5 o'clock with Detroit and Toronto. Late game, we'll see Washington and Vancouver. In the NBA, Toronto Raptors in action in Sacramento. 8 p.m. tip for that one. The line currently Toronto -5.5. In the WHL, Edmonton Oil Kings in action, playing host to the Regina Pats. 7 p.m. puck drop down at Rogers. In the AJHL, one final from earlier today between Grand Prairie and Drayton Valley. That one for 3. And in the AJHL showcase, Whitecourt and Camrose going at 3 o'clock. In the BCHL, 2 games, Nanaimo and Chilliwack and Powell River and Vernon. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been